the stock market morning prep video for Wednesday, August 6th. Red again across the board. Dow Jones down 139, Nasdaq down 31, S&P down 18, almost 19 points, and a Russell down $3.26. And that came from a very quiet morning as far as price action. We actually moved lower a little bit, and then we just kind of literally just went sideways to really drifting a little bit lower until about 1:30, where the markets had one hard drop and then kind of bounced back again. So price action was terrible yesterday. But it looked like the bulls and bears were fighting for a spot here in the indexes, and sure enough, the bears won again and pushed the markets lower. But then the markets drifted higher right around 2 o'clock. So the price action was terrible for day trading, unless you really caught something really good that came in across your screen. But I do think the markets are in trouble. I mentioned that yesterday, last week, and I do think that the sentiment has shifted to the downside. Now we're talking in the overnight session, Italy has re-entered into a recession. Not good. Again, because our European counterparts, we have a worldwide market here now, so everything is taken into effect. So I would like to see a little bit of a better bounce. We did get one on Friday and Monday ever so slightly, and yesterday we just kind of puked out again. So you can see that the markets have definitely changed as far as sentiment. Price action is now to the downside. Short-term trend is to the downside, so I would be concentrating on shorts unless we get a big washout. If we get a big washout to the downside, then yes, I'd be looking for quality buy setups and then looking to ride that up. However, we haven't gotten either side, whether it be a nice rally to short into resistance or a big washout to the downside where we can buy that. That hasn't happened yet, so we're stuck in this little bit of a rut here. But if you looked at the index charts, which I'm going to show you, you could see that we're in trouble here, and I think that we are ready to head lower now. Not without a couple of big up days. Now we have to be patient and wait for these days to come so that we can price action, can be pushed into resistance and short that. Unless you can find something intraday. So now it's getting a little tricky yet again. And remember, it's only a few days that we've sold off, and it feels like it's been a month, and we've taken out at least a couple of months of price action to the upside in relatively a short period of time. That's why I said risk happens extremely fast, and you have to be aware of that. As I'm recording this, we're selling off as we speak. We were down about $2.75, and now we're down well over 5 points in the S&P. Not great, but not good as well, that we can't catch a bid here in this marketplace. So we have to use caution, especially for the longer-term investors. Now is not the time to buy insurance. The time to buy insurance was when the ES was right up at its highs in here, sometime beginning of last week. Now we're back down. We're breaking this trend line support here. Now I don't think we just go straight down, and it could happen. Remember, news does trump the charts. It doesn't care what technical analysis does. But if you see, as the sentiment is now pointing lower, it's just so coincidental that we have negative news that is coming out, whether it be economic or geopolitical front. Okay, so that's usually happens that way. So remember, I wouldn't be holding anything long. I wouldn't be, if you're married to a position and it's not working out, get rid of it, be done with it, and move on, because it can really hurt you, especially now that the tides have changed to the downside. So let's go take a look at the index charts. I'm not going to show you in the indicators. They're all pointing lower. We did have couple of indicators like the McClellan oscillator that were pointing for a bounce. That didn't happen. Now we're back down again, so we have to wait for the shift again. So if we could sell off hard here today, we might be able to tomorrow look for some sort of a stabilization of a bounce and then sell into that again, probably either Friday or into next week again, because we're already here on Wednesday. So I'm looking for a nice big washout today if that's possible. Okay, so ES, you can see here, lower lows, lower highs. We have bearish symmetry. Moving averages are now curled over the 8, the 20, the 34, the 50, and now we're way down below here. So the next really true area, it would be probably 1885. These two tops here, nice supply area here, 1985 to 1945, 1950. So you got a little bit of a band of resistance, support. So that's going to really Probably be the next target, 1885 to 1845. So that little area is going to act as support. That'll be your next downside target in the ES. Now let me show you the hourly chart. This is where I'm looking for. I was hoping to get a little bit of a bounce right into the 40-ish to the 50-ish area. That did not materialize as of right now. As you can see here, see the price action. We're down now 6, and market's not pretty. He's selling off pretty hard here already. So this is where I'd like to get short if I can. Here's the 200 period, right, in the hourly chart, and I'd like to see if we can get that some sort of a bounce here. It doesn't look like it might happen today. Here is the diamonds, just nasty looking. I mean, you can see that here. Now we're just above the 200. This would be a logical place for some sort of a bounce play here. But again, really nasty chart. You can see what I'm talking about. The laggards are pushing lower, and the leaders are leading the indexes down. Here's the IWM, another good pattern here. As you can see, bear flag, bear flag. We are forming a bear flag right now. Under the 200, next target would be this local low right here at 107.38, and then I would reevaluate and put some downside numbers. Actually, excuse me, I already did that. The downside numbers would be the 1272 and then the 1618 right here. So here's really the target once we break this area here. Target will be these two areas here. So let's see what happens, but it does not look pretty. One of the leaders breaking down, as well as the transports. And I had mentioned up in here, we had that repetitive pattern. So look for the transports. This area would be the first target area of this low here from this run up, and now sure enough we have this here at 143. So this is going to need to hold, bounce, and then start to sell off again. I think the first target would be here, and then it would be that downtrend line here, and then of course the bigger target would be the 200. And I think that's where pretty much most of the indexes are headed during this correction, if you will, if we can call it that. I don't think so at the moment. I want to see one big push higher for 2 days and fail, and then sell off again, and then that I would say that we have a top in place. Okay, and then lastly is the Qs here. Holding up well with this uptrend line, and this uptrend line needs to be broken. Once this is broken on a closing basis, you'll probably see this area here. And then, of course, the 200, that's going to be one of the targets. That's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at the 200-day on most of the indexes to be the targets, somewhere around that, whether it be 88.38 or 88.89, 50 right in this area here. But again, we'll put some downside targets as well on some of these indexes. Let's see what happens today. It doesn't look pretty in the overnight, in the pre-market session. Markets are selling off yet again. Now we're down 6.5 handles from when I started recording this. We sold off 4 handles since this has been going on. So use caution here. Don't be a hero. When in doubt, stay out. Cash is definitely a position, especially when the markets, when they gap down like that, and then they just go stagnant for a little bit, and then they move lower on one big flush. You have to really kind of be short when you're day trading going into the day. So, and that's kind of dangerous at the moment. So keep the play as is, and pick the best patterns you can. If you can't find anything, remember, you always got the next day. All right, guys, have a great day, and I'll speak to you tomorrow. Take care.